Hello everyone and welcome back to Zero Meaning, and welcome back to Diablo 2, the last great game in the Diablo series. So probably what I should be talking about here is Diablo Immortal. That is definitely something that happened. I'm just gonna say this is the last great Diablo game. Diablo 3 was okay. It was alright, it wasn't amazing. It happened. I mean, I've loved this game for 18 years, so if I stop enjoying the game now, then I will still have had those 18 years, you know. Reaper of Souls made it better. It changed a few things. I actually preferred the story in Reaper of Souls. I thought that it was stronger than the Diablo 3 like main story. I thought it was more interesting. Diablo 3 tainted the brand. Look, I mean, here's the thing. I wouldn't say that Diablo 3 tainted the brand, because the brand still exists. I would say that the only thing left is the brand. Like, the games have been, you know, the games have been kind of like over time turned into something which they are not, you know, where they've gone so beyond what Diablo is that they don't resemble Diablo anymore as a game. But the brand is the only thing that still exists here, and that's it. All it has is the Diablo name on it, and that's it, you know. I think a lot of people were disappointed. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. I haven't... You know what, should I just talk about it? I don't know. So, if you're not already aware, basically, Blizzard had they had BlizzCon over the last... It was last week. I think it started on Friday, and it started after my stream ended. So I couldn't comment on it, and I didn't buy an e-ticket or anything, but I know people did. You know, they bought it exclusively because the Blizzard had said, hey, we are going to reveal a ton of, you know, Diablo news. Like, and if you, or they said, maybe they didn't say a ton of Diablo news, but they said, hey, we're going to reveal, there are multiple Diablo projects in the works now, you know, and if you, and they had a special video which said that, which announced that. And then at BlizzCon, they had the opening ceremony, and then the first main panel for the entire conference... Okay, I'm about to run out of javelins here. But the first main panel for the conference was Diablo. And it was about some new reveal. At the end of the main presentation, they showed off the trailer for this new game, Diablo Immortal. And it was immediately clear within seconds of the trailer starting, when, you know, it zoomed in to a mobile phone, that this was not what we... This is something that nobody wanted, right? It was like immediately clear. Like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh no. As soon as it happened, I was like, no way did they do this. But regardless of that, you know, a mobile game could be good, right? Like, you don't know. But, you know, the presentation was awkward. I think that, I think his name is Wyatt Cheng, who I believe has been with Blizzard for a while, but he was very awkward. It was almost like he didn't really want to present it, or that he felt he sounded like he was awkward. It may have been that he was just, you know, terrified, because anyone would be standing in front of that many people and, you know, being expected to talk about a new product which nobody knows if anyone's going to like it. But then, you know what, let's go back to the Ancient's Way here. Should I? Because I'll have to portal again. No, let's keep going. Anyway, so it's a mobile game, and just looking at the trailer, it looks like Diablo 3. There are 6 characters in the game. There's the Crusader, there's the Wizard, there is the Barbarian, the Demon Hunter, that's 4, the Necromancer, 5, and the Monk. I think that's it. Maybe I repeated one, I don't know. But those are all of the... Those are all the characters, and I don't think you can even change your gender, but it was not, like, specifically clear about that. It wasn't that clear. So maybe that will be possible, but probably not. The graphics are exactly the same as Diablo 3. If they made any changes, it's very subtle, and it might be just some slight optimization for those graphics. But it looks identical to a game which is, at this point, 6 years old. Which means that no effort went into making it look different or putting new characters in the game. Supposedly, the game is supposed to take place between Diablo 2 and 3. But the weird thing is, there are no characters from Diablo 2 in this game. They're all from Diablo 3. There are new skills. A lot of them look similar or the same, but there are some new skills in the game. So, whatever. So the other thing, right? So, like, it's basically an asset flip. You know, you have those giant worm-like enemies who, you know, climb up on the castle walls and spit out a bunch of demons from Act 3 in Diablo 3. Yeah, those are there, like exactly the same, and they look virtually identical. Maybe the graphics are slightly worse because it's on mobile. I can't really tell, to be honest. Diablo 3 looked dated when it came out anyway, which makes it even more awkward. But I don't mind about graphics, you know, like I was playing Undertale yesterday, so it's not like, oh, these guys are immune to lightning. Okay, this could be bad. Alright, let's switch to Jab here. So yeah. Now, the game is supposed to take place between those two games, but they made no effort to put anybody in from the other game. It doesn't look like the Necromancer has any pets either, so all the characters probably are going to play more or less the same. It's just a kind of aesthetic difference. I don't know. Maybe they will be different, and we don't know enough about the game to really be able to tell that. The areas in the game that were revealed are essentially areas that already existed in Diablo 3. They look the same. Some areas are supposed to be new, and they are like the Forgotten Tower from Diablo 2. Oh, how exciting. Why would we ever want to go back there? The Countess is dead. Like why would we want to go back there? I mean, it's like there is a story reason, but it's very tenuous. But the thing is, all those areas, even like the new ones, the whatever, they are again all asset flips. They don't look like, so for example, the Forgotten Tower, it has a very specific look to it, you know. It has a kind of, I suppose it's a kind of a generic catacombs look from Diablo 2, you know, like it's that thing, and but the dungeons are laid out in such a way that it's kind of recognizable. If I went into the Forgotten Tower, I'd be like, oh, even if I didn't know if it was specifically that, I'd be like, oh, that is Act 1 Diablo 2, and you know, this is, you know, you can immediately tell whereabouts it is, even if you're not sure exactly where it is, right? Maybe you can even tell by the enemies. The Forgotten Tower in Diablo Immortal it just looks like Diablo 3. It just looks the same. They made no effort to make it look anything like the original game, which means it's not the same area. Again, they also have like another archive of Zoltan Kulle. Apparently, he had lots of them. To me, that just smacks of like huge laziness. Alright, we want to find the waypoint here. But huge laziness. So the areas that I could see all look like previous areas in Diablo 3, just with different names. There are... But the real kicker about this, okay, is that... Yeah, sure, it's an asset flip, okay, on mobile. Alright, you know, what? So who cares? It doesn't matter, it has... Maybe there's some different lore in there or whatever. Here's the real thing. The game is basically created not by Blizzard, but it was farmed out to a third-party developer called NetEase, who essentially are I think they're a Chinese developer who make pay-to-win mobile games. That's what it is, right? And like, and that's what the game is. That's what Diablo Immortal is. If you look at it, okay, we don't know if there's going to be any microtransactions or anything. Looking at their other games, though, it looks very much like that's going to be the case. So basically, they're releasing a trash, pay-to-win mobile game, which is what nobody wanted. Look, if they had said, okay, you know, here's what we've been working on, here's a remake of Diablo 2 or a remaster or something, maybe it has the same graphics and it's just a remaster with all the bugs fixed, and it has a new act and new characters. Everyone would be ecstatic for that. Everyone would be amazingly, like going crazy over that. I would be going crazy over that. They partner with Western studios, which is required to publish in China. NetEase? Interesting. I would say that even if that's true, this is not some trash, you know, this is like Diablo is not some trash, you know, video game which, you know, is just a rip-off someone else's. This is like an original IP which is very unique, or at least it was unique at the time. Nowadays, you know, you have dozens of ARPG Diablo likes and so on. But at the time, 27, at the time it was like really, you know, well thought of, and nowadays it's just a joke. Like, even, I mean, I'm not really a big fan of this, but even, you know, Path of Exile is doing it better. It's a pretty solid game, don't get me wrong, that's a solid game, but even that game is doing Diablo better than Diablo. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And I almost feel like, you know, what I was saying about Wyatt Cheng, that he knew that it was embarrassing. I almost wonder if he did. Yeah, the fact that they outsource one of their, as you say, one of their precious IPs, that's crazy. You wouldn't have thought it would happen. It's like one of their pillars, you know? But I guess they don't consider it a pillar because they've generated. I mean, I almost wonder. Like, they said they had multiple Diablo projects in production. I wonder what the rest of them are like. Are they all like this, or do we have something else? We don't know. Okay, I kind of wanted to go to the Drifter Cavern. Let's go to the Drifter Cavern before we go to Bale. So, in the question and answer panel, I mean, overall, I would say that the reception was pretty much just, like, stunned and shocked for the most part. There was very little clapping. There was, you know, the reception was just kind of, like, very kind of, what? You know? And there were, you know, you saw it occasionally with a couple of the questions, that there was some serious beef that people had. And, like, I mean, I'm not one for outrage and so on, and, you know, it does bug me that so much of, you know, gaming culture and online culture has become this just sea of hate, sea of outrage. I hate it. Like, it's ironic, but I despise it. But, you know, I just try to ignore it. I just try to ignore it, and what can you do, you know? But, you know, in the questions, you had someone asking, is this you know, an out-of-season April Fool's joke. And yeah, like, I think the guy was, that's a legitimate question. Because it does feel like it. It totally feels like it. Oh, here's the new Diablo game. Oh, you know, it's a pay-to-win mobile game. Well done. The other thing was that, you know, someone asked, hey, this is on mobile. Now, one thing they did say I didn't really understand. They said, in this game, there's some stuff which, you know, we've been begging for years. I don't know what that person was talking about, so whatever. But then they said, is this game ever going to hit PC? Is it ever going to go off mobile? Is it going to go to anything else, or is it just going to stay on mobile? And the response was, it's going to stay on mobile, and there's no way it's going to come off it. There's no way we're gonna port it to anything else. And the response was booing, and I have not seen that happen before. Maybe I am looking in all the wrong places or whatever, watching all the wrong things, but people booed. And then Blizzard's response to the booing was, what, don't any of you own phones? And it's like, this isn't what we're booing about. No, this isn't what those people were booing about. Those people were booing because they were upset that their favorite franchise has been reduced to this, like, to a shadow of its former self. Now, the game Diablo Immortal, it was not designed, obviously. It was obviously not designed with a Western audience in mind. I mean, just being completely cynical, I think this game was designed 100% to make money and for no other reason. It's designed to make money off as much money as possible off the largest audience that they can possibly muster. And that audience does not exist in the Diablo community. The Diablo community is small compared with other franchises like Overwatch or like probably even like Heroes of the Storm. I'm not really sure exactly, but the Diablo community is small. And it's, I mean, the reason for that is actually Blizzard's fault, because they haven't been supporting the series as much as they really should have been. You know, like Diablo 1, Diablo 2, they came out relatively quite close together, and they're both fantastic games. Diablo 3 came out later, and, you know, was met with mixed reception, and then we had Reaper of Souls, and then just nothing. You know, just nothing. I don't mind waiting for a game if it means that the game is going to be a higher quality, but this, it was obviously designed for an Asian market, who are used to and enjoy this kind of business model, which is essentially, we are going to nickel and dime you for as much as we possibly can, and, you know, you will pay to win if you want to play the game. I feel in that way, I feel like Diablo Immortal will not be a failure, but I don't know how much the audience will care about it, you know. But I feel like it will not be a failure. It's like, but it's not going to be like the Western audience, the PC audience, the people who are playing the game. And yeah, sure, they are actually porting the Diablo 3 to like console now. It's on Switch now. Apparently it's a pretty good port. I don't mind if it's on console. I don't mind if Diablo 4 would be on Switch, right? I think that would be fine. I would have no problem with that at all. But the thing is, it's not. This is a totally different market. It's the mobile market, not the gaming market. So essentially, you're creating a game for casual gamers, which I'm a casual gamer, right? Like I enjoy playing casual games, but I enjoy playing games casually is possibly a bit more accurate. But this is not. This is just the wrong audience. I don't know why they announced this, and they dedicated an entire panel to this game. You know, if they showed this at some, you know, Chinese or Korean convention, and then in the West they showed off you know, a new, some actual Diablo announcement, right? Some actual game, because this is not one. I mean, it is one, but like technically it's a game, but it's not a game that anyone wanted or asked for, and it's just more of this terrible business model that we've seen before with, you know, games like did Command and Conquer have this sort of thing? I can't remember, but Dungeon Keeper certainly did. EA completely destroyed that, and it's sad, you know. Like, I was thinking about playing Dungeon Keeper again, looking up looking it up on Google. And, you know, all you find are, you know, Dungeon Keeper mobile stuff, which is annoying. But that's my problem, and not the problem with the game. But, and apparently Blizzard are shocked that there was such a negative response to the game, to Diablo Immortal. And how could you not be shocked? Every fan under the sun of this game, of Diablo, you know, even fans of Diablo 3 were shocked. Especially fans of Diablo 3 were shocked, because they are new fans, and they expected a new game. They expected, like, what if we had a, you know, not Overwatch itself, but, you know, an Overwatch equivalent, like that big a game, or a World of Warcraft like that big a game, you know. That's what people expected. That's what people wanted, and what we got was this. So, there you go. They're completely, as you say, they're completely tone deaf. They don't understand the audience at all. I feel like everyone who was anybody in the... anybody who was anybody, you know, in at Blizzard when they made... You know, when they made this game, when they made the original couple of Diablo games, they are all gone. They all went and did their own thing. Maybe they got laid off. Maybe they felt like they didn't have enough creative freedom. But all of them have gone. And, like, that's, you know, that's it, you know. My thought is that, you know, maybe my final thought is that, you know, nobody from the original teams existed. Blizzard is a completely different company now. They don't understand what people who originally, you know, fell in love with this game, they don't understand, or they don't know what made the game good in the first place, or what people want from it. And also, the other thing is that, you know, since Diablo 2, they're not Blizzard anymore. They've become Activision Blizzard, you know, and Activision exists to make money. That's what it's there for. Blizzard, regardless of how much passion or creativity they have for their projects, they're going to put, you know, their talented developers, you know, in charge of, you know, basically trash projects like this. And it's sad. It really is sad, and you can see why, you know, certain people left the company. I think there was someone from Blizzard who left the company right before this announcement, or the announcement of them leaving was right before BlizzCon. It was like a month or so ago. I don't remember exactly. I guess people want to move on. Yeah, some people will want to move on. Absolutely. All I can do is just hope, you know, and that's all we can do, is just hope that this is not all we get. This is not everything that they had for us. We do know that there was some kind of Diablo animated something that was happening. We do know that's legitimate. That's happening, probably. It's not like 100% confirmed, but the guy who was, the fact is that the guy who was doing it tweeted out accidentally, "Hey, I'm working on this," and then the tweet just immediately disappeared. Here's the other thing about Diablo Immortal. People say, and this applies to a lot of things in general as well, but people say, you know, okay, you know, if you don't like something, you know, vote with your wallet. Don't buy it. The problem is, when you have a company which is so out of touch with basically everything, they might misinterpret that. They might say, oh, we released a new Diablo game, but nobody bought it. I guess nobody likes Diablo anymore. Not seeing that actually, wait, you know, and in that case, in that instance as well, I've seen people saying, you know, okay, I'm so distraught, I'm so disappointed by this news, I'm actually going to boycott Diablo 3 on Switch. You know, I know it's just coming out, but I'm boycotting it. I'm not going to buy it, but that's because I already own the game on PC and I don't really have any, you know, I have no need for it on Switch. Like, I've played the game for, you know, 200-300 hours or something, so I don't need to play it again, you know. But, you know, like, people, you know, that may impact badly on Diablo, which is so bad. It's like, you know, when Metroid Prime Federation Force came out, I bought that game. Why did I buy that game? Because I'm supporting Metroid. I'm supporting the franchise. You know, I don't want it to die. I don't want it to die just because they've made one bad game, you know.